Today we're diving into the question, why is change necessary for personal growth? If you're on a journey of personal development, self-improvement, change is inevitable. Stay with me because I'm going to show you how embracing change, especially the uncomfortable kind, is the key to your success. I guess we get to address the obvious element here first, and that is that better is always different. Think about how I said that, because it's not true the other direction. Different isn't always better, but better is always different. By definition, I'm remembering a funny story about an army platoon that was in some really difficult circumstances, and they didn't have a lot of access to everything that they wanted, and their sergeant called them together and said, "Guys, I got some good news and some bad news." And they're like, "Well, what's the good news?" "The good news is today you get to change your underwear." And they're like, "Awesome, this is so cool." "What's the bad news, Sarge?" "Well, Anderson, you're gonna change with Brown. Brown, you're gonna change with Smith." So you get it, right? Better is always different, but different isn't always better. So that's why we fear change sometimes. We get comfortable with what it is, the way it is, without changing anything. At least that's predictable. And change sometimes makes us nervous because it might be like that army platoon. Different isn't always better, but better is always different. I recently read a book by Michael Easter called The Comfort Crisis, and had some of my higher level clients reading this along with me as we had a discussion about it. We have created a world where we rarely experience discomfort. Or maybe another way to put that is we've become very accustomed and maybe even addicted to being comfortable. Growth requires a shift from comfort to challenge. It's change that pushes us beyond the autopilot and the routine into what's possible beyond that. And this happens when we are challenged to think, feel, and do things differently than we have in the past. One of my previous coaches, Dan Sullivan, who is the founder of The Strategic Coach, taught this concept in the program. He calls it the 4 C's. The 4 C's are capability, confidence, commitment, and courage. And the mistake that we often make when we want to do an improvement in our personal development or in our business or our goals, whatever it is that we're doing, the mistake that we make is that we demand from ourselves the confidence and the capability before we actually commit to the goal. And so we'll hear ourselves saying something like, "Well, I don't feel confident about that," or "I don't have the capability to do that yet. Once I have the confidence and the capability, then I will commit to that goal." Well, that's backwards. You don't get the capability to do something that you've never done before until you do it. You will not feel the confidence until you've got it in your rearview mirror and you know that you're capable of it. So instead, we switch that out for the other 2 C's, commitment and courage. Commitment, I can tell when someone's committed to their goal by 2 documents, their calendar and their bank account. Then I know they're committed. If they're spending their time and their money on something, I know they're committed to it. Courage. And I love the way Dan Sullivan puts this too. It's because it's kind of fun, but it's so true. When people ask him, what's the difference between courage and confidence? And Dan says, well, that's easy. Confidence feels good. Courage doesn't. Courage implies fear. Courage implies that you're outside of your comfort zone. And that's why we admire people who have it, because we know it's not easy. When you have commitment to your goal and courage to move forward without the confidence, that's what helps you to gain the capabilities. And then confidence is a strategic side effect. What's one area of your life where change felt extremely uncomfortable to you? You're going to find that this is pretty universal. Put it in the comments if you have an example of something that you have personally grappled with, where you've seen that. You've seen that the change is uncomfortable. We're not alone in this, folks. When things stay the same, we tend to coast. We get into autopilot. We just move along as if there's no effort required from us. But change forces us to pay attention. Pay attention to our thoughts, our habits, the way that we're showing up. That awareness is the first step toward transformation, because awareness precedes choice. Every time we navigate change, we build trust in ourselves. Trust in ourselves. That's another word for confidence, isn't it? And this is what fuels lasting personal development. I'm going on 3 decades now as a professional psychologist. And there have been so many times when my clients or a group that I'm training or an audience that I'm speaking to will give the feedback that, oh, this seems hard. And I'm thinking, great. That means we're on the right path. Because default is down. Default is down. Gravity is always on. Is this true if you park your car on a hill and leave the brake off? Yeah, which way does it roll? You never hear of someone falling up. This is also true in your relationships, your finances, everything that you do. If you neglect it or turn off the energy, it rolls downhill, doesn't it? Notice that. Elevation requires effort, and light requires power. Those are natural laws. Don't be surprised when it's hard. And when you notice that it's hard, great. That means we're going the right direction. Are you ready to take the next steps in your personal development? I've put together another video for you specifically about how to develop a fulfilling and successful personal development plan. Cue that one up next, and let's take this seriously. I'll see you over there.